truth?
I mean, I don't accept pragmatist theories of truth, but I mean,
Okay.
do I have an issue with them? I'm not sure. Like, it's not like I think it's irrational for people to believe that.
But when I say
I have
issue,
a
like,
question.
do you have like some sort of motivation for like the negation to not accept it? Or you just like not accept it because like you just don't want to live that way, like you were trying to say earlier?
Well, I tend to think that, okay, so it depends on the particular pragmatist theory of truth you're talking about. I mean, one problem for me is that I don't think pragmatism actually overcomes any of these skeptical problems. So, I mean, it seems to me unmotivated on its own terms, but again, it's not like I think it's irrational or anything.
Wait a minute, Kane and Rebecca, are you guys in the same room?
Yeah.
So are you guys together?
Yeah.
I think they are in the same room, but
Okay, just are you guys? So you guys are smashing. So Kane, come on now. Does that feel real?
Well, I don't know. Have you ever smashed somebody in a dream?
So
What does it mean to feel real? Like,
I mean,
if you talk to people who take DMT, they'll tell you that it feels real. They'll tell you that the DMT experience feels super veridical.
Well, she's just got a nice voice.
what the fuck?
Of course, I take it that Rebecca exists and that I exist and that I am in a relationship with Rebecca.
I got a question.
Wait, but what do you think are like the skeptic issues that pragmatism runs into? The skeptic issues that pragmatism runs into, like which you can't answer.
Well, again, it depends on the specific kind of pragmatism.
Like,
and I don't want to commit to anything specific here because pragmatism has so many different ways that it can be elaborated. That anything I say, you're going, well, that's not really what the pragmatist is saying. So, I mean,
okay, well,
but, I will leave it to the particular brand of pragmatism that you're interested in defending to, you can elaborate that and then we can talk about that.
Well, I mean by pragmatism is just truth. Like when you say truth and when you say practical, I guess you could say. And like when you assert like an idea is practical, and when you assert an idea is true, you're just pretty much doing the same thing there. So I guess you could say truth just reduces down to what is practical.
Okay, well, so one issue then is going to be about so in terms of like cashing out the idea of what's practical. Now, one way to do this, I'm not saying this is the only way to do this, but like one way to do this is going to be in terms of what's like, good or bad for an agent. So I can kind of as a kind of agent with desires, like I'm a mind, I have certain desires, there's things that I want, there's things that are good for me, things that are bad for me, right? And then there's things that can happen that can satisfy my desires, that can make things better for me or worse for me. And so there's a kind of story there where it's like a mind confronting a world, things going well for the mind, things going worse for the mind. And that just seems to be all of the classic skeptical arguments. I don't think the pragmatists have ever given me anything they've never given me any reason to think that those arguments have been overcome.
Well, that okay. When I say something like it's practical, I don't mean like it's just practical, like relative to like one particular agent. I mean it's like locally practical. So like say for example, 2 + 2 = 4. I don't take it that the truth value would change like depending upon if it's useful to one agent. I take it that it would change depending on if it's going to be useful locally, like to everyone.
Okay, but obviously, I mean, so if let's say that you're somebody who is more inclined towards the skeptical arguments. I mean, what is going to be the kind of Cartesian skeptical hypothesis? Brain in a vat hypothesis, evil demon hypothesis, all of that sort of stuff. And so you're not going to accept that there even are any other agents.
Okay, well, like response to those arguments could just be that they're unfalsifiable, so they wouldn't be virtuous.
Yeah, but I mean, so what? Like,
okay, so if they're unfalsifiable, they wouldn't be virtuous, correct?
Okay, but and?
Okay, so do you think that we should like believe in something which is unvirtuous?
Yeah, I don't care about the theoretical virtues. I don't see why that has any connection to the way reality is.
Well, it seems that like given a belief, if it just has like less virtues than another belief, we just probably wouldn't take it to be the case because that's what virtues mean. Oh, I take a virtue to be is something which makes like one thesis better than another thesis. So if we have like a thesis which like has virtues in comparison to one which has like no virtues or even has like virtues which would lean against it, it seems that we should take the negation of that thesis.
Yeah, I'm aware that that's what people believe, but again, I mean, obviously, if you're at all inclined towards these skeptical arguments, you're not going to take those virtues seriously.
Well, I mean, I would say that you still can, right? Because okay, if you're granted on like these type of things like virtues exist, right? Because you said that like, okay, well, it can be like non-virtuous, right? But I just don't care for that. Well, if you're granted it's non-virtuous, you would just say that you're granted that it's not going to be, well, I guess you could say, better than another theory. So you'd be granting, even if you want to like hold to Cartesian, like skepticism, whatever, blah, blah, and thesis, which is better than another thesis. That being the Cartesian thesis.
Oh, sure. I mean, you could, yeah. I mean, a Cartesian skeptic could do that, but I think there's more skeptical arguments than just the Cartesian skeptical arguments. The point of bringing up the Cartesian skeptical arguments was just because you brought up this thing about there being other agents, right? So I'm just saying, well, you know, here's one way that you're not going to get on board with other agents. Also, I mean, like, I just don't think that there really is much of a case. Even if I was to believe in these theoretical virtues, I'm not really sure that you know, the belief in the external world is actually more virtuous. It seems to me that in some sense the solipsist thesis is simpler than other theses, for instance. But again, that's kind of, I don't really need to get into that because I don't accept those virtues anyway. So,
like, say that it is simpler, but even if I was to grant that it's simpler, the whole fact about I assume you mean like ontological parsimony. It seems ontological parsimony, like they have both theses have like equal explanatory power, which in this case I obviously wouldn't grant that.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, no, I don't care about explanatory power.
Well, okay, then this seems like an issue that's like every view would run into, not just pragmatism. You could just like infinitely quite. You could also be like,
yeah, well, yeah, of course, yeah. All I was saying was I don't think pragmatism does any better. I'm not saying pragmatism's any worse.
I mean, okay, well, okay. Let me rephrase the question then. Do you have like any reason to like not accept pragmatism over like any other like theory?
I suppose if you're asking me to put aside the skeptical stuff, and then like, well, you know, is there an objection to pragmatism when you put aside the skepticism? I mean, obviously that's a bit of an issue, right? Because now you know, I mean, you're asking me to sort of perform as somebody that I'm not really, right? So, but I mean, I mean, of course, I could do that. I mean, so one way that you could do this, for instance, would be to take the kind of like Taoist perspective. I think, you know, Taoism has certain anti-pragmatic elements to it that seem like, I don't know,
that's an interesting point
in some way or another. And part of the idea of that is, okay, well, he's gone then. So I don't know what was the point of that exactly. I suppose that's
because to get a good laugh, I guess. I don't know.
Well, it wasn't very funny.
It was a little bit funny, but it was a little bit
funny. No, it wasn't.
No, yeah, Kane's face.
I'm gonna ban anyone who says that was funny because.
Wait, that's not fair.
Well, I mean, you know, you might want to be careful about what you think is funny.
Well, Becca said it was funny though.
I mean, unfortunately, I can't kick her. Can I?
You can't. Would you kick me if you could?
Oh, I mean, if you were saying that was funny, I think you might be out. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. He's gonna just keep talking about skepticism, and then he's gonna bring up Taoism, and then what's the next thing you're gonna bring up?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to do these things because I know that you don't like it when I talk about skepticism, but
I fucking hate it.
What do you want me to do? Like, people ask me questions. Do you want me to just lie?
But you're just doing the lazy route. You're just gonna look.
Here's the problem, right?
Look,
you say that it's lazy. Okay, let me just point something out.
Skepticism.
Let me just point something out.
Well, nothing can beat skepticism.
Exactly.
But I'm gonna. But
that's what I actually think. That's what I actually think. I think nobody's ever beaten it.
You just
what do you want me to do? Like, no one's ever beaten it. All the arguments against it suck.
You joined them.
Yeah.
And you became you become a skeptic because if you can't beat them, you join them.
Yeah, all the arguments against it are terrible.
You took the lazy way out.
Of course, I'm lazy.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do? Yeah, I mean, you know that about me.
I do know that about you.
I'm very lazy.
Anyways, Embers.
Nobody likes it. I know. No one likes it.
Look,
What's the point of even doing this? I mean, like, nobody likes it when I talk about skepticism, right? Nobody likes it when I bring up skepticism.
No.
Okay, so
I think there are people that love when you bring up skepticism. I think it's just
I don't
Rebecca
think
that
so.
doesn't like that. I think there's loads of people that love you for being a skeptic. And
I don't want.
might just not be one of them.
I don't think anybody likes it when I bring this up, and so I'm not really sure why.
Embers loves this.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with you being like skeptic, but the entire point which I'm talking about is like, okay, well, you could like say that every view will fall subject to that. So that doesn't seem like it's an issue of pragmatism. Rather, seems that it's a view of like every philosophical view.
Whoa! I mean, just because it's an issue that is so like the fact that pragmatism has some problem that. Also a problem that other views can't solve. I'm not really sure how that helps pragmatism.
Well, can I just say something?
Because you could just go for skepticism, right? You could just abandon pragmatism and just be like, yeah, I don't know.
I would like to just say one thing. I would like to clarify a thing. I think that you can say you're a skeptic and people are like, oh, he's fucking crazy. But when you actually go into skepticism, you do have very good points about skepticism. I will say that.
Okay, well that's good to know.
Yeah.
Are you gonna say what the point is, or?
Well, there might not be a point, and that's the whole point. But I think that it's actually very interesting when you start, because you go on TikTok and you hear these people say this saying like, well, that's just because I believe it or whatever. But Kane will actually go into it, and you're like that. And I don't want to like enhance skepticism here, but I do think that there are times where I'm like, that might be Yeah, and I think that you can back your claims.
Well,
I mean, I genuinely think that you actually have really good points to make. I actually really enjoy listening. I could just sit here and listen to you talk about it.
I do think, from what I've heard, it is tough to get out of the problem, really. I mean, I don't think there's any out of the problem, really. I mean, I don't think there's any evidential reason I can really give.
Right.
Maybe I'm wrong, but
that's what's so frustrating about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that that's what people might have a contention with is they hear skeptic and they immediately shut off and they're like,
just ignoring it and talking about.
But I can defend it, and I think that's the difference. Yeah.
So.
Because you have a PhD in this.
Well, I mean, apparently, yeah, I guess I do, but I've never, I think with pragmatism is sort of uniquely hard to talk about because it's a view that I have always struggled to sort of nail it down in some way, and maybe that's fine. I mean, it's like when you talk about pragmatism, there's so many different versions of pragmatism, and some versions of pragmatism are actually sort of, in some way, kind of fellow travelers with skepticism. When you read people like Richard Rorty, you're like, I don't know, some of the stuff he's saying seems, like pretty close to kind of the sort of stuff I'm saying. So it can be kind of hard to, as I say, pin it down. But I think that obviously I am capable of just putting the skepticism away and then saying, well, all right, if I'm going to assess these kinds of views, in something like a more conventional way, are there objections to pragmatism that are unique to pragmatism? Well, of course there are. I mean, everybody already knows that. I mean, if you're asking me what I personally think, then all I can do is give you.
How about this? In 2026, we won't be harsh on skepticism. We'll shake on that.
What does that mean? Harsh on?
We will accept skepticism as a view.
That's a nice New Year's resolution.
Yeah. Well, Kane's very nice to me, and I'm going to be nice back because he's a very wholesome guy.
What was that noise?
The oven.
Oh,
you guys have been dating over a year now, right?
No, longer than that. Why have we been dating?
Since March. Was it 2023 or 2024? I can't remember the years.
March 2024.
Must be March 2024.
Oh, it's like a year and a half. Damn, it's been that long.
Oh, Danny's here. Danny, aka Diddy.
Okay, look, I gotta go to the toilet, but then I'll come back. Do you want to?
Yeah, I'll keep talking to people.
I'm like desperate.
March of 2020. Is that when it was public that you guys were dating, or was it quite a bit?
No, that's when I first met him in person. I went to the UK.
When was it public that you guys were dating? Like, when did everybody else know?
Well, I think it depends. I mean, I think like people like Amdir always knew. J Mike always knew when we were dating, but I think that it, like became like I think when he came to America and we went live, people started like catching on.
Yeah, I think I knew before that, but I don't know. I probably didn't know when Amdir knew, but it can't. It's crazy. It's been that long. It doesn't feel like it's been that long. It's insane.
Yeah, no, it's been a very long time, I feel like. But no, I think Kane's probably the most wholesome person I've ever met in my life.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a very nice guy. I think that I really enjoy talking about philosophy to Kane the most because he's very charitable. Like I can ask him the dumbest question and he'll like answer it and he gets excited, you know?
That's good.
The dumbest question I can say, like, you know, what's the difference between like a normative and a descriptive claim? And he gets like excited to talk about that. And I think that that's really fun.
He doesn't get rhetorical on you and say that you're getting gapped.
No.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, no, he's like, you know, he gets like, it's like his passion. So, yeah, I think that's, you know, it's so much more fun to talk to him about it because I don't get knowledge gapped.
Well, I'll tell you what, his playlist on meta ethics is really, really good.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think that, but you know what's funny is he doesn't think that.
I tell everyone to watch that video.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's not going to post anything for a while, which is sad, but
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? You know.
So what's his view? What's his meta-ethical view? Do you know?
I think that he thinks like our official meta-ethical view. You think they're both dumb?
I think they're all dumb. I think they're all dumb.
Yeah. Yeah. What is your official?
Well, you know, I mean, I just said that I'm a skeptic, right? But I mean, if you want me to ignore that, then I guess I can just
No,
say
well,
that,
yeah, well, let's ignore it for argument's sake.
Which non-skeptical view do you think is the least dumb?
I don't know. It's a hard question to answer these days. I tend to think that, you know, I increasingly I feel that morality is not on any worse footing than anything else, you know. So
what do you mean by that? Like,
well, what I mean is that the way that a lot of people tend to think about this, I mean, like if you're going to be a moral anti-realist, for instance, is I think what motivates a lot of moral anti-realists is this idea that morality is in some sense on epistemically worse footing than the sciences, for instance. And we'll kind of say, no, you know, they're sort of equalized in some way. Now, I want to be more on the side of, well, equalized in some way. Now, I want to be more on the side of, well, you know, no, they're basically just on the same footing. But I guess instead of following the argument to the conclusion that means
kind of like a companions in guilt type thing, but maybe reversed.
Right, yeah. The companions in guilt takes you to the conclusion that it is really companions in guilt and not companions in innocence. Because I think that what a lot of moral realists want to say is that they're not companions in guilt, they're companions in innocence. They're both innocent. Yeah. They're fine, they're good, you know? Yeah.
Wait, I just put the pizza in.
Excellent.
It needs to be in for 12 minutes. What time is it?
Wait, what kind of pizza, though?
Cheese.
Oh, you guys don't put no peppers or nothing?
Well, it was buy one, get one. I had limited choices here.
Okay.
So, okay, it's 10:47. I need to be in for 12 to 14 minutes. So that means I need to get that out.
We'll just look at it at 11. That's 13 minutes. 12 to 14 minutes.
Okay.
Look at it at 11.
Thank God you're here.
Good pizza. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not New York pizza, but it will do.
Mhm.
That'll do.
Is it?
It's Rouse pizza.
Okay. I don't know what that is, but
It's a Publix pizza. Do you have Publix in your part of the world?
not that I.
Best.